Arizona's hottest R&B. It's the all-new Vena Soul. Arizona's hottest R&B. And it's the Julian show. Got my guy with me right now. Met you in it was a couple of years ago, man, right?
A couple of years ago. Yes, it was.
Yeah. Carl Cyprian. Certified life coach and health coach. How are you, brother?
Man, I am doing so wonderful today, Julian, and I'm so glad to be here.
Man, I'm very glad you are here, man. It's good to have brothers like you on the air. And so how's everything going, man? How's business?
Business is going fine. Business is going fine, man. I'm getting out there. I'm trying to get out there and network and do the things that we're doing today, like being invited to your station. I'm proud of what you're doing in our community, helping other entrepreneurs out there. I'm getting out there and finding exposure, trying to get my message out.
Man, that's what it is all about. Because we were talking that, the biggest thing for me is building relationships and making sure that, hey, for my people, come on, let's chat. What you got going on? Let's put it out there.
Yes, sir.
I see you definitely doing that. So with that, how is your your marketing and all that to get people? Like, what do you do to get the people that you want to help?
I'm glad you asked that. I'm really glad you asked that. So one of the things I do, or several things that I do, is I became a part of the Chamber of Commerce. One is the Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which I'm an ambassador for them.
Oh, really?
I lucked into them when I moved out here to Phoenix I'd say roughly around 6 years ago. And wanting to get into this entrepreneurial thing we call.
Yeah.
And so I met one person, then I met another person. They said, "Oh, you need to meet my aunt. I love what you do, Carl. I love your passion." And so I met this person. Her name is Angie Motamore. She's one of the directors at Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I got to give her a shout out. She's the one that kind of guided me in a direction to pursue what I thought was my dream. It happened to not be what I wanted to do,
Really?
but at least she sent me in that direction. Yeah. So just to expound upon that, I started to learn about business. I wanted to open up my own company, have a business, do something that was very impactful out there in the world, and giving back. And the thing that I started out, and all entrepreneurs, they may do this, is that, or at least this is my story. I started my company, Passion Valley LLC, when I moved here. I moved here to Phoenix in 2016, and I started it around 2017. It originally was a singles business, African American. It was Phoenix or Arizona's only African American singles club.
It was a club. So like in-person type of club?
In-person type of club.
Really?
Yes. So that was an experience for me. It was a wonderful experience, growing up, in Tucson, in Arizona. You probably don't see enough of Black love. And
right.
that kind of put me into that because just really quick, I had left Tucson. So growing up in different things, which is beautiful. So for your audiences, I love all. So when I left Arizona, I moved to Alabama, and so you're going to be in down south where it's more heavily populated.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to see more of you, your mother, your father, your sisters, or your brothers that are married, that are together, and so that was a beautiful thing to see that too. And so when I moved back to Arizona after living all those years away from Arizona, I'm like, look, it's okay.
Yeah. That had to be like some kind of culture shock right there. You're like, man, used to this and now this?
Correct.
Yeah.
That was a culture shock. And it's a beautiful thing because I think we mentioned earlier, Julian, my parents were married 65 years.
65 years now.
Yeah.
How do we even get back to that, man? You know what I mean? How do we get back to having that level of commitment to each other?
Yeah, I tell you, it's not easy, especially where we are right now. We we'll get more into what we do later, but you see a world in our country so divided right now for a lot of different rhymes or reasons. If you
Mm-hmm.
could put that on there, a lot of spinoffs. But getting back to that, it's just you know one of my mentors and one of the men that helped change my life when I left Tucson. He was in Louisville, Kentucky when I moved there, and he told me, "You can't be a man till you see a man."
Mm.
And so I like to go ahead and mirror that with when it comes to black love. You have to see it to experience it.
Mm.
you know, and coming from a world where both my parents were black, and coming from where they came from, um, uh, little means. My mother finished only a 10th year. She was a 10th grade high school education. My father went on to. He got drafted in the military, Korean War. He later on did Vietnam War. Off the farm, he had to come back and finish high school and do different things. But you look at that time in life, they had to overcome a lot of things. Then down south, Jim Crow, all kind of different things that they came through. And then here, I'm the fifth of five siblings, and so I would have never even known what they've been through because what they taught us, and the love that they shared with their kids and with their family.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never knew how they grew up.
Wow.
So it's so I look at today where a lot of us, we go through a lot of adversity, a lot of challenges in our life, and we are so quick to divorce, to separate.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when I look at how they kept it together, that helped mold me to say, give this a chance. It's not, you go for who you like, you go for who you love, because love conquers all.
Mm-hmm.
But coming from Tucson, and once again going back down south where my folks are from, I'm like, I got a chance to live that as a grown man and see that, wow, there is black love. It's not separate how the media may portray it to be.
Exactly. So, with all that experience, all the stuff you went through, how has that helped you really develop your coaching business as far as just being built up yourself to help someone else?
That's a very good question. So I realize now that all those experiences that I have seen with my parents being together for so many years and being down south, that we are in working in corporate America, not seeing a lot of us in management roles and all kind of different things. When you grow up, and granted, we didn't have social media back in my day. I don't want to give my age out. I can, but we didn't even have a cell phone. And when two-way calling came on, that was something special. But how that helped mold me is that I seen the adversity and the challenges that my parents had to go through. Mm-hmm. And so for them to hold it together, that I experienced, like I used to ask my parents, why are hoses being sprayed on black people? Why are dogs being sicked on? I come up in that Martin Luther King age where I seen all that stuff, and I seen the strength of my people trying to just to live a better life.
Yeah.
So all those things were molding me to today, where I want to help those that are going through struggles have a better life. Because when you go through pressures like that, it creates a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of things that are not comfortable with yourself. And so those are things or challenges that I went through growing up, which was the anxiety, the fear, and not being comfortable in different areas.
So is that because you mentioned, you made sure you said certified coach.
Mm-hmm.
Are those the things that help you get certified? Is there other criteria that help you get certified?
Yes. So being a certified coach. So with during the pandemic, I just experienced a loss of my mother, which is my role model, my hero, my mentor, seeing how she raised us and how she kept the house and everybody together. So I lost her. I was going through I had went through a messy divorce. I was going through child custody things. I was sick where I had almost died. And so here, boom, on top of that, here's the pandemic.
Throw the pandemic on all that.
So through all that, I'm like, I was going, man, I could have lost my mind. And so it was a blessing in disguise because, and I didn't see it at the time, right? But what I did is like, man, I'm losing it here. So I seen some different things on Facebook, on Googling how can I get better? Who can I reach out to? And so I seen the school called HCI, which is a health coaching institute, and I enrolled in that because I needed to overcome my fear, anxiety, and get my health into better shape. This is all during the pandemic. So I enrolled in that for a year, and I became certified as a life and health coach. And the life part is the life experiences that we all experience. And then the health part, you can't live a good life unless your health journey is good too.
Man, say that again. Exactly. So all that is now rolled into Passion Valley.
Yes.
So tell us more about Passion Valley.
Well, Passion Valley, man, just to be honest with you, we don't have enough time to really get into the semantics of that all. But I tell you, when I moved here to Phoenix in 16, in 2015, I had almost died. They had to really resuscitate me.
Oh, you had to resuscitate?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I 3 months after that, I still wanted something. I still wanted, like I said, because I had a good corporate career. And I'm like, this is not it. Yeah. There's something more than this. So I drove up. I said, the opportunities in Tucson I knew they were not going to be what I wanted. I grew up from there. I already had made a major change from leaving there years ago. So when I moved up to Phoenix, I was working in Mesa, and I was still living in Tucson.
Oh, shoot.
So to make that a short story, one of my colleagues, he goes, "Carl, you got to tell me that story. Why are you driving from Tucson every day to Mesa to work? That's 250 miles that you're putting in a day." And this is 3 months after I had almost had that near-death experience.
Right.
Something was driving me.
Yeah.
And you ask about that passion. Something was driving me to say, Carl, there's something more that you're going to do, that you got to do, that's already inside of you, and you got to keep driving to find that.
It's almost like a dang metaphor right there. You literally are driving, but yet something is driving you.
Yes.
And then it's keeping you going.
Mm-hmm. And I tell you, Julian, at that time, I didn't know what it was. I just had to go. I just went through a messy divorce, going through the child custody thing. I just had almost passed. My father had died of cancer. I came back to Arizona because of my divorce and to help my mother through her cancer pieces. And so for all that, I'm like, there's something more that I got to do. And so what it was is that I'm driving up and down I-10 every morning. My day started at 4 a.m. just to get to work at 7 through traffic. And that's going to be in a book that I'm going to write sometime in the future. But just,
brother, for real. For real.
But just for those viewers that are hearing this, is that the passion that I have is to never, ever, ever give up, no matter what storm you may be in. There's always a possibility if you just keep fighting.
And see, that's so important. Just the story itself. That's why you really need to do the book, because you know we all have our own cross to bear. We all have our own stuff.
Yes.
But when you hear about someone else's,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, yeah, man, I'm good with my stuff. I'd rather have. Trust me, because I got stuff on my shoulders, right?
Sure, we all do.
But I just heard about what happened
Yeah.
that what was on your shoulders,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
who knows what's still on your shoulders? And like, no, I'll deal with my stuff.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
deal with my stuff. Yeah.
And I'm so glad you mentioned that. Everyone has a cross, excuse me, a cross to bear, and everyone is on their own journey. And so I wouldn't have traded that journey for the world.
I love how you said that. Exactly. You don't want to trade your own stuff because it does build you up, right?
Yeah. That journey was for me to experience.
Yeah.
And so the passion that I had to live for taking care of my mother during her stench of cancer, and then for 10 years, and then going through the messy divorce, and then I had my little daughter that was 6 years old at that time. So I'm like, I have to live for something bigger than me, or for someone that's bigger than me.
Yeah.
So that's where my passion came through. And then when I was coming up and down the road, I-10 every day, I'm like, I'm in the valley. And here it is at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, and I would look up to the moon over the mountains. I'm like, God, what are you saying to me? Yeah. And I'm like, and I want to get a business, and I don't know what I'm going to do. What am I going to call it? And you know what? But I feel like I'm in a valley. And then I'm going down the valley somehow or another. But I'm very passionate about getting through this valley. And then I know once I get to the other side, it's going to be something powerful.
Man, that is good stuff. That is good stuff. I'm here talking with Carl Cyprian of Passion Valley. So now people just heard your story. They know you're certified. Now, how can they get a hold of you for whatever needs they have?
Yeah, well, that's good. So one of the things that I love to hear from the viewers is for them to go to my website, and for them to go to Passions with an S, Valley, passionvalleys.com. And it's going to be, the subject is going to be empowered habit changing coach. So that's what I do. It's like you have to change your habits to change your life. Mm-hmm. And when you change your habits, you change your life. And so those are one of the things that they can see me on. Is going to my website to get a hold of me. Drop a note. Let's connect. Let me know what you're going through. Let's see if I'm the right person to help you go through some things in life or in your health, and see if we're the right fit. Because I want to make sure you're the right fit for me, and vice versa.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, there it is. So we'll definitely make sure the links are there, and then everybody's going to see you everywhere, and we can see you. What are your social handles as well, so we can follow you?
Sure. Thanks. My social handle is I'm Passion Valley LLC on Facebook. I have my Instagram, which is Passion V1, and I'm also on LinkedIn as well. For my first name, Carl Cyprian. So those are my 4 handles I like to share information with, share content on, share things that I can help other people get through to help guide them from step A to step B.
Fantastic. Carl Cyprian, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Passion Valley. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so very much for having me.
All right. Thank you, brother. All right. It's the Julian Show. Keep it on. The 5 o'clock free ride is on the way next with DJ Izzy Mo.